You're watching the Cooking with Jack show.
Hey guys, all right, let's talk about what experiment we're doing today. We're doing freeze-dried steak. We're gonna cook some steak for my brother, season it just like he likes it in California. We're gonna slice it thin and take it to the freeze dryer, and then we're gonna mail it to him, and he's gonna try and rehydrate it. This should be fun. Oh, and I got a second steak for Tammy. So one will be just with salt, because that's all my brother does, is meat and salt. Then another one will be with Tammy's seasoning. That looks good. All right, so we have Charles's steak. We're just salting it all over. We'll let that, before we start cooking, we'll let it sit for a while. And then we'll go get Tammy's seasoning and do her steak. Plus he likes it well marbled, so this looks really well marbled. Oh, and then I guess we're gonna jam a temp spike into there. As you know, Cooking with Jack show has partnered with ThermoPro, the makers of temp spike. I've got a few temp spikes. So we're going to temp spike my brother's. Because if this one's a little bit overdone, Tammy's okay with it. So we're going to jam the temp spike in there. What are you using? Holy hog? Holy cow? So we're using the meat church seasoning on hers. Heavily seasoned. Okay. Then we're gonna jam the temp spike into this. Okay. You putting the black one in? No, go straight into the side. Can you jam in there? Yeah, that's good. We're gonna cook to about 120, which is like the beginning of rare. Because when he rehydrates and rewarms it up, it'll be more than that. So let's take a look and see what the reading is. All right, guys, we took the temp spike out of the steak. It is out, right? Yep. Okay, now we're gonna slice it thin for the tray, because the thinner we slice it, the quicker it will freeze dry. So, yeah, go ahead and, wow. That looks good. It's beautiful. All right, so we'll meet you over at the freeze dryer. So we're gonna fill probably 2 trays?
No, I'll get all
one?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get the whole steak on one for my brother. And then we're gonna pre-freeze this. It just helps the process along. If you put regular stuff in, then the machine has to do all the work. If you put frozen stuff in, the machine just has to dry it. So, that's beautiful. We're going to make sure it's frozen solid. Then we're going to dry it out.
Okay, here it is. We've got chuck steak, cooked medium rare with salt. That's it, nothing else on it. And it was dated 11/2/23. So even though this can be kept for 25 years, we're keeping it for, I don't know, 25 weeks maybe. I don't even know. All right, so next is I'm going to open this and we're going to then try to rehydrate. Really? Good God, what is this stuff made of? All right, time to get real. There we go. Great. It's wrapped in aluminum foil, okay? That feels weird. guess this is to keep moisture out. Okay. Well, there it is, freeze dried. Wow. Feels fake. I'm gonna dump it in here. It feels totally fake. Okay, my plan is to do one in tallow. I've got a jar of tallow here. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna pour that in here. It's kind of gloppy. Okay. I gotta kind of maybe melt that a little. I'm gonna put warm water in one and cool water in the other, and that's the plan. So I'm gonna melt this and see what happens. See if I can get it more liquidy. It's a bit gloppy there. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so I've melted the tallow, the beef tallow down a little bit. This is warm water. Let me see. Yeah, that's the warm water, and this is the cool water. My heater, my water heater is set at 130 degrees. So this is probably, I don't know, maybe 110, 120. I don't know. Hard to tell. I didn't measure it. Okay, so this stuff feels like it's completely fake. It's super duper light because I guess there's no water in it. So I'm just going to start adding this to the different, the different bowls. There's a cool one over there. I have no idea what to expect from this. Take this one. I'm going to put it here. Okay. There's not a whole lot of room in here for this. I was hoping maybe I got to put more tallow in this. This stuff's floating. It's really bizarre. I didn't expect that. Let's put this guy in the cool. This guy in there. I'll get rid of the spoon. The spoon isn't helping at all. Just taking up space. Okay. Well, I needed more space than I thought. Interestingly about the tallow is it's thicker, and there's not a lot of room in this dumb little bowl that I picked. Oh well, this is just an experiment. So, all right, what else we got here? I got room here, so that guy can fit in there. This is not going to fit in any of these, so I'm just going to kind of break it, fit this underneath like that. So far, I can say that the warm water already feels like it's doing something. Cold water, not so much. Tallow, nothing. Like this is doing zippity doo-dah. Like this feels soft, this feels medium, and this feels just as hard as it was when it was dry. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see these little bits and pieces. So the plan is to just leave this for a whole day and see how it goes. I'm going to leave the tallow in the fridge, and I'm going to leave this warm out, and then the cool I'm going to put in the fridge as well. I don't want to mess with the warm. I'm going to see if that helps a bit. This is falling apart. It's like crumbling almost. I don't know where to put this. There, and then bits and pieces in there. We'll see what happens here. All right, so I may want to put a little bit more tallow because I feel like it isn't covering it. Like one thing about the water as it's soaking it up is that it's weighing this guy down. See, he's starting to get weighed down. Now, notice that it is changing color. Gosh, just I could almost eat this now. This piece right here feels like I could eat it. Like it's okay. This, let me wipe my hands. I don't want to get any tallow in here. This, getting close, but boy, it still needs time. It's still hard. But the warm feels like it's doing it right away. Now 130 degrees, usually 120 to 130 is rare when you sous vide, right? So, I can see that it did change the color a bit. If you look here, you can see that this is red and, oh man, it's still hard as a rock. I don't know if this towel is going to do anything. Well, we'll find out. So we'll see what happens in 24 hours. Okay, it's been about, well, a little more than 24 hours, maybe 27 hours or 28 hours, something like that. This is the meat with the tallow. It is still hard, and this did not work well at all. Yeah, it's hard. So that was a failed experiment with tallow. So yeah, let's turn this over. Yeah, didn't even make a dent. It's just freeze-dried with gloppy tallow. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, first experiment failed. Okay, here we have, this is the meat that was put in the warm water to start. Okay, and once it got cool, once the water cooled down, I put it in the fridge. So what's interesting about this is that the warm water kind of cooked the meat a little. Let's bring it closer here. See, it used to be pretty rare. It's not bad. It feels like meat. Yeah, it feels pretty good. All right, so this seemed to work pretty well. It does cook it more because it was cooked to begin with, then freeze-dried. So this definitely cooks the meat more, but it feels like meat. All right, so we'll try that. That one wasn't a total fail. It did overcook it a little bit because it was warm, so yeah. Oh, the other thing is I forgot to mention on the tallow, once I put it in the fridge to start and I realized, no, that's no good because it's gonna get solid. And so then I removed it. And when this got cool, I put it in the fridge as opposed to the cold water that went right in the fridge right away. So I'm gonna get that one next and we'll see how that one came out. Okay, so this is the cold water. This was cold water going in and cold into the fridge directly. And you'll notice that the water is kind of like leached some of the myoglobin out of the meat. It did with the warm water as well. See, it's a little bit of red. And so here this is red, but here's the thing, the meat is red. Well, it's a little bit, like this is a little bit red. It's a little more red. If you compare the two, you can really see the difference. This is kind of like gray and this is a little bit of pink in it. But, so anyway, this looks pretty good too. Feels like meat. And we're going to try this one. So we'll try them both next. All right, here we have a side-by-side comparison. This is the cold. This is the warm. You can see that the warm has been, definitely gray. Kind of cuts like meat. It's a little hard. But this cold, cuts pretty good. Cuts like meat. Feels like meat. So yeah, okay. And then this is kind of grayish. I mean, I'm sure it'll taste fine. I'm gonna eat it cold, but it has a pretty good texture. It's a smaller piece with some fat. Fat's a little harder to cut. So this side is the warm, and this side's the cold. This is really tough. This did not get enough water in it. It's still hard. That's strange. Let's pick something else. Let's try this guy. Yeah, that's fine. He's thin. Now notice that this, it's very possible that it didn't get enough water in it. I put it in these little test things, so it's very possible that I didn't put enough water and didn't cover it. You would do a better job if you're doing it for real, not just a little test here. So this little tiny piece looks pretty good too. All right, here we go. This is the cold. I'm trying the cold first. All right, this is cold meat. So, tastes like cold meat. Cold water. Yep. Tastes like meat. Now here's the one I couldn't cut. I'm gonna eat it. Not too bad. I had a weird kind of a taste to it. Yeah. This definitely need more time. I'm gonna get out of my mouth. All right. The next piece. This is the warm water, 24 hours. That's better. That's definitely better. This feels more like meat. Tastes like meat. The taste isn't very good. It's also not hot, but I don't like it. I don't think I would eat this. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, so that was a big fail. Ooh. Well, there you go. Ooh, that's better. Would I do this again? No. Freeze drying meat, I don't think it's a good idea. I think better preservation of meat is probably in tallow or in lard, where you put them in jars. So that's a whole nother process. I don't think freeze drying is the way to go. Maybe there's a better way to hydrate it. I don't know. These didn't really make them taste great. So